Well, I mean, Paul George will regret this more than the Lakers will regret this going forward.
Really?
Yeah, look, Westbrook had KD and couldn't get it done. And anything Paul George can do, KD can do better. Like Paul George, if you're going to lose KD, you can hardly do better than replacing him with Paul George, another long, lanky three who can play both ways, the whole thing. But KD's better. So you're taking a lesser version of what you had, which wasn't good enough. Now, here's the other thing. If you have Westbrook and Paul George, I'm not saying you could never win a championship. If you could get another player as good as those two guys to play with them, good luck with that in Oklahoma City. You're not going to have the cap space. And secondly, free agents aren't going to want to go to Oklahoma City. They want to go to big, more glamorous markets. As much as people say, well, that's changed in the league and all this kind of stuff. It's a kind of, with social media, with the proliferation of media generally and transportation even, where you play is not so important. You could be a big star in any market. Look at LeBron in Cleveland. Sure. So all they really have to do is hope that one of the best players in the league was born in Oklahoma City and really wants to play there, or that they draft him and he becomes a superstar. But with Paul George and Westbrook, they're not going to be bad enough to ever have a draft pick like that. It is, for Paul George, a dead-end situation if his point is to win a championship. He'd have had a better shot to do that with the Lakers, and he would have been going home, which was what he says he wanted. Maybe he didn't want the pressure of those things.
Well, thank you for telling the whole story and leaving nothing for me, because I really have nothing to add in that regard.
You have nothing to say?
No, because that's obvious. The fact of the matter is Paul George is going to regret this because you're supposed to be in the business of trying to capture a championship. And it's not going to happen for exactly the reasons that Max said. In the end, what it comes down to is this. Paul George stayed in Oklahoma City because of his relationship with Russell Westbrook. Period. He's that loyal kind of guy. If you know anything about Paul, let me tell you something about Paul George. Paul George is a star in this league before that injury, and I still think he's a star, but that injury, that nasty injury from a couple of years ago with USA Basketball, that derailed him, obviously, somewhat. But make no mistake about it, Paul George is not just a star. Paul George is one of the classiest, nicest guys you'll ever meet. Here's why that's relevant. He's the kind of person that, yeah, his parents might have wanted him to go to L.A. His wife might have wanted him to go to L.A. But that relationship with Russell Westbrook means a lot to him. And he's a loyal cat. And because of that loyalty and that love and affection for Russell Westbrook, and by the way, when you think about Russell Westbrook, it's hard if you're a teammate of his. It's hard not to love him because he is a warrior extraordinaire. And he's going to go all out, and he always has your back so long as you're wearing the same uniform as him. So a guy like Paul George would love it. I've known Paul George for years covering the NBA. He's that kind of guy. The problem is some people, he doesn't believe it, but some people believe he will rule the day that he made that decision because obviously he's from Palmdale in California. He's always wanted to be a Laker. He was destined to go to the Lakers. Like he said, he would have definitely went to the Lakers had he never gotten traded to Oklahoma City and cultivated that relationship. And making that decision based on your relationship with Russell Westbrook may come back to haunt him if Sam Presti can't get enough to help them win the championship.
I thought it was also a financial decision, though.
Well, and this is interesting. Here's the irony of the league right now, right? The NBA is set up in a way that encourages players to stay with their teams. So a small market like OKC is able to retain the services of a draft pick like Westbrook, trade for a guy like Paul George, get him to stay because they can give him more money, and also because of, he likes it there with Westbrook. Here's the irony, guys. Where did Westbrook want to play? Where's Westbrook from? Where's Paul George from? They both wanted to be Lakers, reportedly, over and over again through the years, right? And because of the way the NBA is structured, they're not Lakers. They're Thunder. They're OKC Thunder. Now, let me ask you this. Are the Lakers in a better or worse position to win right now than they would have been where their two superstars were Westbrook and Paul George instead of LeBron James and whoever's coming? In fact, yes, it worked out. OKC kept their stars, and as a result, the Lakers are in a better position to chase championships than they would have been had they had Westbrook and Paul George and not LeBron James.
Well, my response to that is you don't know that. And the reason why you don't know that is because you don't know what Westbrook's arrival to L.A. would have brought with him. Who's to say that somebody else might not have come with Westbrook other than Paul George? This is Magic Johnson that we're talking about here. And Magic Johnson, you never know. I'm not saying that you're definitively wrong. I'm saying you can't be definitively right either. There's no definitiveness to this whatsoever.
Who'd rather be the Lakers or OKC's future next 3 years?
Well, right now, I would rather be the Lakers. But I'm saying to you, based on what you're saying, you can't definitively say that the Lakers could not have had the very future that they're having right
That's
now.
right. But if
available
you
to
were
them.
a betting man,
if Russell Westbrook,
but
was
if
there.
you were a betting man, what
He
would you
said
bet?
it.
He's better off.
He
They're
said the
better off
Lakers.
now or better off the other way. I think they're better off now.
Excuse me. Can I say this to you? If you right now, since you said right now, if Russell Westbrook and Paul George could have been in LA together with the rest of the crew that they have instead of LeBron James, I tell you the Lakers were still better off.
No.
The combination of Russell Westbrook with Paul George and that team in LA instead of LeBron by himself.
You're missing my point. Wait.
I remember your point. I heard you.
No, you're missing the point. Yes, I understand, but if you pay those two guys, you're not getting another max player. You spent your money. I'm saying LeBron plus the other max contract you're going to bring in.
But you're saying plus the other max contract you're going to bring in. But I don't know if they're going to get him. I believe they're going to get it, but I don't know.
Again, if you're a betting man, how are you betting?
I'm betting.
He said he went.
But I don't know.